recently, we've seen an increase in the messaging that it's okay for men to be vulnerable, to show their emotions, and to ask for help. But that doesn't mean that it's an easy thing to do. Obviously, there are many layers to this, but I wanted to ask the question, are men actually allowed to openly struggle and seek help without judgment? What do you guys think? Pretty open-ended question.
I have a hot take. No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so at all.
Do you think that men have to be that strong, dependent, foundational stone in society in that way?
I do, and I think that's what society needs.
Yeah.
It needs that strength. It needs that leadership. It needs that firm action of
direction.
This is my vision. This is where we're headed.
Now, okay, so
I can be wrong.
Without getting too in depth, I mean, I can see the other side of this saying is, well, look at where men have brought us in today's world. So I don't know. Anthony, what's your take?
Why can't you be both? Why can't you be in tune with your emotions, be confident enough to talk about how you're feeling, and be strong, be a leader, and be whatever the societal norm is for males? I think you can be both.
So I have something, not that you can't be both. In public, I think that we should.
There's a huge difference.
Exactly. In private, of course, you have emotions. We all have them.
But think about it. But think about a male leader. For me personally, it changes the dynamic of the relationship I have with that boss per se, especially if they're a man, that I feel more open and sensitive with them if they show emotion. Sometimes that's not always the best thing. Sometimes you need to set that foundational work. Matt, what do you think?
I think it's okay for everyone to show their emotions, that they can struggle, and it's okay for them to struggle, and it's okay not to be okay. But going back to Brian's point with that is, it's what you do based on the actions, and you can, I believe that you can, if you want to feel that temporarily, but what are you going to do to change it? What are you going to do to break out of the funk? What are you going to do to actually change your mindset to actually make a big difference?
Now, okay, fair point. Now here's the thing. Some would say that our culture around stoic men is actually creating a lot of our problems today. So what's our response to that?
I disagree with that.
You disagree?
I 100% disagree with that. It's not about like saying like, well, my way of thinking, if it's more of like a stoicism way, is the right way of thinking.
But they would consider that like a toxic masculinity.
Why?
Some people.
Why would that be considered toxic for that?
I could see the argument side of it saying is, okay, it's toxic because they're trying to take too much control, or they might not feel like
everyone dies, bro. We all have a birth date and a death date. That's it. And we're allowed to embrace our emotions as human beings, and we are allowed to have this human experience. But it's also on the onus of men to be the leader and to be powerful and to embrace everyone else around them, regardless if they're women, men.
But then some would say that stoics, like Anthony, dive in here. Some would say that the stoicism in men has shifted our culture in a more negative way. Because you did make a comment, it was an antiquated way of thinking.
There are antiquated, in my opinion, there are antiquated ways of thinking what men need to be in modern society. And the emergence of dominant women, I think, has scared a lot of men. But why is that scary?
It's not scary.
I don't know why it's scary.
I don't think it's scary. I think there needs to be an understanding.
I want to ask you this question. Would you not say that there probably are men out there that feel that way, that more women are making their way into the business world, they're becoming more positions of power, and it's scaring the crap out of them?
100%.
Why is that scaring you? If you're confident and you're in tune, whether it's stoicism or whether or not you might want to cry once or twice in public, you should be in tune with that.
I think the bar is being set higher for men in some way. Like that can contribute to a struggling of men's mental health.
I would say it's both. I would say it's both. The bar is set not equally as high. I would say it's set higher a bit more for women. I think men have gotten away with a lot more, in my opinion.
Do you, Brian, let me ask you this. Do you think that the cultural expectations of men to be what we're kind of talking about, stoic and chivalrous, is almost hindering them from reaching out for help?
No, I think that's where they need to remain humble. If you're humble, you ask for advice,
valid.
You get good counsel, you have a group of strong men with you. We're not hunters that go by ourselves. We're hunters that go in a gang. We have fun with it, you know? Yeah. We're in a pack. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
We stand the collective approach.
Exactly.
Okay, so how can we challenge this notion to, in some ways, like have men find a sense of help while still being a foundation? Is there?
I think it's okay for men to say, like, I need help with this. And that's the stigma around men's mental health. I believe that's like, you're not supposed to ask for
Should they
help.
do that more privately? Kind of going back to how we opened this up.
I think it's fine if you were to do it either way, because then if you do it publicly, it goes to show that it's okay not to be okay. But you have to, I believe that you have to come up with a proactive plan, because there's only two ways that you can handle a situation. You can either control it or let it control you, and that's it.
Yeah, that's valid. I think men have a lot to struggle with. And on that point, when we come back, do men really need to be more in touch with their emotions? We've been talking about this a little bit, but let's come up with a more concrete answer. So we'll see you soon.
I'ma rule the world, yeah.